thing is there's a lot of placebo in there, right? I know this costs $1,000. It looks amazing, so it sounds great. But if you were listening to that without seeing it, would you really notice the difference? I don't know.
Have either of you been to
Yeah.
any virtual reality concerts or anything yet? Because I know there's been plenty of them. They don't get a lot of attention, but they are out there.
I didn't find a concert. I found like a club. One night, my girlfriend was sleeping in the other room, so I went to a club in Old Space.
Mm-hmm.
And that was weird because I was on my own and I actually felt embarrassed to dance on my own, right? Like I've heard you say this a few times, right? The fact that you kind of feel shy in VR, and that happens to me. It's amazing how this kind of visual effect can kind of, like, they see me, they don't see me, but they do. Oh, it's weird. So yeah, but I haven't been to live
to a VR club. I mean, the closest thing was like Thrill Seeker had some like award party in VR chat, and that was a bunch of people dancing around and stuff. That got weird though, because if you're familiar with Thrill's VR chat community, that got a little bit too weird for me. Wasn't your typical club.
Wait, you don't want to herp? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it got a little weird for me. So that's what made me feel uncomfortable. But no, like I lose myself in VR. I mean, generally I'm pretty outgoing, so like I used to like the club scene, but I feel like there's too many other senses that are not getting like captured. Plus, you still feel the hardware. Like you're still like that kind of keeps you out of full immersion.
Yeah.
Like if you're jumping up and down, you feel the headset, you feel the cable, stuff like that. You also don't feel like the people around you. Like it just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah. True.
There's a whole new like dynamic that we all are going to have to learn. Like us three, we have quite a few years of understanding social cues, facial expressions, how to talk to people IRL. Where maybe majority of my life, like if I had to like literally do the math, more of my life has been offline than it has been online. But there's a whole generation where that's sort of starting to change, and how they feel comfortable in a social setting online, they're reading it different than us. And I think that's why you see some people who are really good in VR chat or something, some people who are bad. We're all just learning how to process that information a little differently. It's taken me a lot longer. I'd like to fix that because there's a whole like good world out there to explore, but I definitely have walled myself off, unfortunately, a little bit due to my own insecurities in that. But we're all learning.
Yeah. I guess, do you really want to recreate things that you can do in real life? And that's the thing for me. I don't really want to recreate something that I can get in real life and is great now. Like I don't really want to replace musicians and concerts unless there's a need or unless it's an extra thing. But I don't really want that to stop being there in the real world, right? I don't think that's a great use of it. It's nice for an extra thing. It's great if you've got an old person who can't get out of his house so that he or she can go for a long walk somewhere. Like, I don't know, my uncle used to go walking in the Alps here, right? He can't walk anymore because he had like a problem. He's old, he had physical problems and stuff. So he can't walk very far anymore. So I thought, how cool would it be if there was a VR good enough so that he could, be taken. I'd kind of thought about an app that would be great, something called, Take Me Where I Can't Go or something like that, right? Now that's a really cool use, but I don't want myself to have to, if I can walk under the rain or wherever and feel and smell everything, I want to do that in real life. So I don't want VR to replace stuff. I'd like it to kind of give us extra possibilities and compensate for things that are missing for some, for example.
So go ahead, Matteo.
No, I was gonna say I don't think it'll ever get there. I mean, if it could, I'm all for it. And then again, you probably don't want to replace real life, but I can't imagine like a true nature vista, like that real I don't know, just that great view wherever it may be. I don't think you could ever really recapture all of that in VR. But what you could do, and if we get close, you can make things more extreme. Like we can't go out and play Grand Theft Auto in real life without getting arrested, obviously, or we're not going to last very long. But if you can make that feel real and then do it in VR, that's pretty crazy.
Course.
I don't know how healthy that is, but
I mean, it's coming.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So let's end it on music here, though. Oliver, what would you want from a music experience? What enhances the experience that you wouldn't be able to do for real life? Is it maybe when a singer's or musician or performer is in the center and you have the autonomy to move around as you see fit? We're adding basically, instead of changing the music experience, we're just enhancing it with visuals that you wouldn't ever be able to obtain IRL. Is that an option? Or is it more based off availability of people to all see it at the same time? I'm kind of thinking of ways to enhance it, but that in a way is really the same thing.
I guess from the point of view of being a musician, I used to do that, but I haven't really thought about that much anymore, because if I think about that, then I go down another rabbit hole and I don't really want to. But I guess the only really useful thing there would be having a way to jot down ideas quickly and in a very kind of instinctive and physical manner. I mean, it's not much fun writing notes with a mouse on a MIDI sequencer or whatever. You can play them on a keyboard, which might be great if you're good at playing on a keyboard, but some people might really like the idea of punching them out in the air, right? So I think there are use cases for which are great for some people, but I think more than for creating music, it's going to be more about for people to learn how to play music, for example. I think that's the big thing. So something that kind of makes you aware that you're going in time to a song without you having to really study the fundamentals, and kind of eases you into that. I think it can be great for learning, for example, for learning to play the piano or something, right? I would imagine there's a lot of things you can do there, and I think some people may already have done something like that.
There's Virtuoso, I think, is the piano app right now.
Imagine something where you sing and it takes your pitch and you have a visual feedback on what note you've done. So you've got your 12 semitones of intervals, right? So I'm going to do a fifth and I see that in a different color. I know it's a fifth. If I see orange, I know I've done a fourth, let's say, right? So that's cool, because I get sort of an extra sense feedback for what I'm doing. You could do that on a TV screen, but it's going to be cooler in VR, I suppose. Yeah, I would see it for stuff like that, and then probably loads of stuff I haven't thought of. But
well, I know they just did like the I can't pronounce. Someone correct me. Is it Varjo? How do you pronounce that headset?
For me, it's Varjo. I've decided for myself that's what it is, and if they don't like it,
yes, you heard it here first.
Yeah,
give me phonetics or your Varjo. But anyway, I saw that headset when they were using it for the military, Air Force. There's a new study that said that it cut down training time for a pilot by up to 30 to 50%, just by giving them the ability to learn through that. First, they can skip a lot of the safety protocols, because you obviously can't put someone in a real aircraft while they're learning. At some points, they're going to have to, but early on. But now they can throw them in there from day one without any fear of safety or harm. So that's interesting. Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and fireside chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.